podcast really mixed. Mad Dog McGraw, the Angry Gordon coming in on the speaker, and your host, just kidding, they're the host.
Thanks for checking out NonjudgeMetal. Be sure to check out the Facebook and Instagram, and be sure again to check out the Star City Punkcast, also on Facebook and Instagram. We gotta know. We've been dying all week to know. What do you judge metal against?
I really do wish I started that last week. I would have loved to shit on that Arch Enemy.
Arch Enemy?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know, guys. I really give it a good solid chance this week. I wanted to post a song to show Nick, be like, oh, Arch Enemy doesn't suck. But, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Oh.
So you agree?
He agrees.
It was like trying to argue
100%.
with him that religions aren't a cult, but we found out. It's a numbers game.
It is all a numbers game. In fact,
Yeah, I think it's the lyrics. I don't necessarily think it's anything other than the lyrics.
Now, are we talking all Arch Enemy, or are we talking new Arch Enemy, or old Arch Enemy?
When you say the lyrics, are you talking about the vocals, or are you talking about actually what the words are in the songs?
Those cheesy lyrics. Specifically, the new Arch Enemy. I love the old stuff. There's several songs I can think of. The Skeleton Dance, or Genesis. There's a lot of good songs that I think it was My Apocalypse. The album.
My Apocalypse.
Yeah, great album. I think that's actually when we seen them live.
Yeah, that was around that time. That was with Angela, so you're saying you love the Angela era stuff.
Yeah, really, really good stuff, but, I can't follow them anymore with that. It brought me to another band this week. I think we can all agree really fucking sucks.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man, I am absolutely on par with you. Although I will admit, I'm a little cheesy when it comes to, like, metal love ballads, so I kind of like the chorus on that Love Fall song. But that's just like the goober in me talking. But overall, man,
You know why you don't like Hell Yeah?
I absolutely don't like Hell Yeah.
I haven't heard enough of them to judge them, to be honest with you.
Judgemetal, I'm calling it, man.
You.
Yeah, lucky. Well, all right, so tell me, what's up? Hell Yeah, what's going on with that? What do you...
I think it's the lyrics as well. I can't relate. It's just, I can't hear a grown man be a project like that. Get on Chad Gray so much because he's an incredible person. And I met him when I met Hell Yeah. He was an awesome guy. Yeah, awesome person. The whole band was awesome.
I met him in early 2001 when Mudvayne was starting up at Ozfest, man. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I agree with you there, but I will agree that the lyrical content, you're absolutely right.
Were you with me when we met him when the Lost and Found album came out?
Yeah, got autographs and all of it.
One of a kind.
Oh yeah, the music's completely different. It's southern metal as compared to new metal.
Yeah,
but a pretty heavy dose of new metal. That was heavier than a lot of the other new metal bands we were listening to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What made me bring this up was I brought out some old Nothing Face albums this week.
Oh.
And
Oh yeah.
I know it's not Tom Maxwell making Hell Yeah suck.
Okay.
Go break out some Nothing Face. They're still up to par today.
Oh, dude, that fucking Skeletons and Violence albums are absolutely stellar. Man, for the era they came out, Metal Mentions, yeah, they're definitely if you like that new metal era, but you want something a little different, man, Nothing Face definitely had a unique sound to them. I would definitely give it a check out, Metal Homework style.
Man, so it's been.
I started shitting on Vinnie Paul, saying, "Oh, maybe it's Vinnie Paul. He's just sucking at drums." No way. What kind of asshole says that?
I gotta bring this up since you said that. You actually got to meet Vinnie Paul, right? Pantera's drummer, one of our favorite legends.
I almost don't want to talk about it, guys.
I feel like we did talk about this in an earlier episode.
I think we might have, but like it's just like every time you tell me about it, it's unbelievable to me. So, but we won't dwell on that. Like the whole Hell Yeah thing. So you think Vinnie Paul's actually not performing up to par with them? Is what you're saying?
No, I think Vinnie Paul's doing great. I think Vinnie Paul's just getting older.
Oh, okay.
And he just wants to rock out. And I think that's the same thing as old Tom Maxwell.
Okay.
I think, was it Chad Gray, is it, the singer? I think, his voice is still incredible. But as soon as you start learning the lyrics, you're like, alright,
I don't like the way Hell Yeah sounds. I'm going to be honest. Like,
it's radio material, you know?
I'll give it that, man, but even with that, I don't think it's very good radio material. I've tried every album.
It's like if Leonard Skinner decided to go metal.
Kind of. And I'm just... That's a really good analogy. And I don't know. I just don't think it doesn't click with me. Obviously, they're doing okay.
They just need to find their Freebird.
Like so bad.
Yeah.
They're a super group.
Yeah, me too. I want to just get in there and go, I should like this for all intents, but just something stops me from.
I don't know if it's a super group. Yeah, they've got Vinnie Paul and they've got a bunch of other musicians from different bands, but first of all, Nothing Face is only known to the metal scene, and Mudvayne didn't have that much radio play back in the day.
Was it Falling Down?
LD50 was the only thing they did with it.
Not Falling.
Not Falling.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, that one.
Not Falling.
Yeah, that was like the first time they really got kind of a push. That was a big song for them.
Well, yeah, it came onto a movie soundtrack.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like we all agree on this one pretty much, like here. And I'm not gonna say, take our credibility to heart, but when it comes down to it, man, I just gotta give Hell Yeah just kind of a neutral fart, a whisper. Like, it's just not bad, but to me, it's not good.
You could definitely probably catch them on tour with like All That Remains or something like that.
Yeah, easily. And and if you go see them, I would go see them for who they are, and I'm sure they probably put on a decent show. But I mean, Angry, you could tell me they put on a decent stage show.
Yeah, I will say that. It wasn't very much energy. Like I said, you could tell they're older. Tom Maxwell does his thing. He just rocks out. He just always kind of stood on stage, just jammed out. But I don't know. I don't feel it there.
I'll 100% agree with you on that, because even though I haven't seen them, like, check this, and you can relate to this, man. It's a band we really haven't got to talk about much on the show, but it's one that I've seen 3 times, man, and every time they have been one of the most excellent performances I've ever seen. And no matter the age, 12 years ago when I seen them or last year, they're always just top notch, man. And that's Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew you were gonna say that.
dude, I mean, they get up there and just jam the fuck out, and just they look like they're having such a good time doing it that it's so enjoyable. Like, definitely a group that if comes near, catch them. Like, do yourself a favor. Even if you're not like, oh, I'm not the world's biggest Seven Dust fan, spend $20, man, and enjoy an evening. It's a blast.
It will be.
That Time Travelers and Bonfires album,
Mhm.
it was different sounding. That it almost sounded like you're supposed to play it like at a campfire of sort.
Probably, dude. Go back and listen to their records.
Crazy.
It's solid stuff.
Right.
The guys don't write bad songs.
They redid a couple of them though, and like when they redid them, like I don't know which is better. Like they're both solid songs and shit. And it's different lights for the same.
That acoustic cover of Black it rocks,
Right.
man. That's a great track.
I think it was Trust.
I mean, Lejean's got the voice to be able to do any type of clean.
He's doing
or
solo
hard.
stuff now.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
that
it
yet.
just came out this week. He has a song called Love.
I'm a little surprised it's taken him this long.
Oh man, dude's a singer.
He's definitely a fucking talent, and that's not to take away from anybody else in Seven Dust.
No.
But when you're in a band like that, it's going to limit your vocals to what you can and what you can't do. You know, so when you're sitting there and you're playing with the same band, like you can try to kind of change that sound up a little bit. But if you go solo, you can do whatever you want. They're listening to your voice. You can back up to any genre of music, you know, and make a song.
I didn't think of it
But
that
if another band
way.
does that, you're going to lose some fan base. You start changing your sound up too much.
Absolutely. So, before we got to cut Angry here, there was another band that you were kind of shitting on a little bit, Judgemetal, this week, and this one might come as a little bit of a shocker.
I feel like there's a lot of people that lie and actually say they like these guys.
Who that is right here?
Slayer.
Fuck this dude. Cut the phone off, dude. Who the fuck is this guy?
Hang up.
Real quick, what is it about Slayer you don't like?
To me, all they have is intros.
All they have is
I
intros?
listen to the first 30 seconds of a song, and then they're just over it. There's not one Slayer song that I can honestly say I want to listen to.
So I would say you're probably not a fan of the vocals, seeing as how 30 seconds after the intro's done, the vocals are pretty much starting to kick in. And I would say
it's not the vocals. It is not the vocal. It's just.
Do you not like the speedy thrash sound they put out?
Not at all, man.
Have you checked out some of the stuff they put out now, man? Like I don't know. It's different compared to their old stuff, but it's still good, man. Like, but I like the like songs like Seasons in the Abyss too, like those 6 minutes kind of slow jam outs, man. Where like it's just fucking metal. Have you ever heard the title track from Seasons in the Abyss?
Most likely, I've given about everything Slayer a chance.
Do me a favor, listen to that one song and tell me if you appreciate that song, and then I will truly understand why you don't like Slayer.
I mean, here's the thing. Have I ever actually gone out of my way to get a Slayer album? No. But
there you go.
Can I appreciate what Slayer did for the metal scene and what they were when they first come out? Yeah, I can totally appreciate that. You got to understand, a band that's not going to change its sound, you know, that's going to, you know, they might evolve a little bit, but they're going to stick to their roots, you know, and keep putting out the same type of metal. If they've been making metal since the 70s, like, you got to understand, I'm not a huge fan of, like, older classical and neoclassical stuff like that. Not a huge fan of that. And, like, the old British heavy metal, like, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath and stuff. It's not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate definitely what they did, because for their time, that was the heavy shit. They were the ones pushing the boundaries and, in a way, paving a road for us to get what we have now today.
And it's fucking excellent. But, I mean, like, this is part of the judgmetal thing, is that, like, ultimately we're trying to be non-judgmental so we can find things that we don't like. But sometimes, man, you gotta admit when something just doesn't click with you.
True.
Like, and that's the whole point of it.
A lot of people say they like Slayer just not to fit in.
Damn, that's Angry's take on it? People are faking
really
Slayer fandom?
There's more people out there that don't like Slayer that just don't want to fucking admit it.
Do you think that I'm a fake Slayer fan?
I don't think you're a Slayer fan.
These are almost fighting words right there, man. Now, I've never said I'm Slayer's biggest fan, dude, but I've definitely bought albums within the first week of release, listened to them hours on end, and I've definitely went and caught the guys live, man, and I followed their career. I like some Slayer. Now, I'm not going to say I'm a huge Slayer thrash metal guy. I'm not. You guys know I'm the groove dude.
And it's going to be kind of hard to compare his Pantera fandomship to
yeah, because
Slayer.
I eat, breathe, and fucking shit Pantera. It's the best shit on the planet. Fight me on it.
I have known you for 30 years, and I have never, not one time, got in the car with you or went over your house, and you've been like, oh, check out this Slayer song.
Yeah, but you're also a weed head, so it's capable that you also maybe forgot.
Or maybe he might not have thought you would have liked it.
Yeah,
which turns out is true.
So we're going to leave it up to any of the listeners who happen to know me personally, because I know we got some of you guys out there.
I'm just saying, if you just baked a fresh chocolate cake and you know your best friend fucking hates chocolate cake, are you going to invite him over to the house and be like, dude, check out this chocolate cake?
Let's see this. You guys have heard me talking. You know who I am. So do you guys think I'm a Slayer fan, or am I faking it? Is Angry right here? I mean, I want to know. I want to know what people think. You know what? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if I'm lying, because I dig some Slayer. That's my
maybe we can get some comments, some questions, maybe test your Slayer fandomship.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see.
I might be the first person to actually say it.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying something pretty tough there. That'd be fighting words.
I got to see Slayer while I was angry, drunk, and by myself with 50,000 people. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, you know?
I saw Slayer with Pantera where they joined each other on stage. So I want you to repeat that again.
Now, did Kerry Kane play with Dimebag?
Yeah, I saw that live.
I just came in my fan.
way above. I'm sorry, man. Like, you're not going to tell me drunk and angry at a festival. And I understand why you're angry. We've talked about this, and I agree why you're angry. You had every right to be. Now, this Angry Gordon right here, he has every right to be angry about the situation in which he saw Slayer in. But you got to admit, I'm sure it did, but you got to admit right here, right now, if you could have saw Slayer drunk and angry at that show, or you could have saw them with Pantera joining each other on stage, which would you have picked?
Is that even a question?
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's not rhetorical, because you already know the answer. Alright, so, that being said, like, I'm going to say that I'm a Slayer fan, you say I'm not. My challenge to you is prove it. You got till Kill Whitney dead to prove it.
I don't know too many people that got Slayer albums.
I got some Slayer albums. Regardless, like, I don't know, that's a pretty good one, man. I can see why you feel the way you do about a band like that. Like there's certain big metal bands that just don't click. I personally have never been a huge Anthrax fan. Just never been a huge Anthrax fan.
Anthrax is definitely an acquired taste. Like, I'm sorry, like that is
but
straight.
I know
trash.
a lot of old school metalers that absolutely love them, man. Bubbers,
No, I mean,
Bubbers love some Anthrax, and I can't blame them for it, man. I got the big 4 on Blu-ray.
I'm not talking shit about
Excellent
Anthrax,
show.
and I'm not talking shit about Anthrax's following. I'm just saying, like, that's a whole different type of metal.
Dude.
That's borderline punk.
I think Scott Ian's cool as shit, man. He fucking wrote Lobo comics, so that's fucking boosting my books, because McGruff is a goddamn Lobo fan.
Didn't Leo shit on Metallica last week?
He did shit on Metallica, and I respect him for it, as I respect your Slayer shit.
You heard I shit on Metallica. Did you hear how I shit on Metallica?
Yeah, he wants to talk about it.
Did you hear the specifics?
Let me go ahead and tell you. Sorry, I got out of range for a second. So, let me go ahead and tell you. I don't think this man's going to disagree with you.
No, I mean, I'm not even worried about a disagreement. I'm just wondering if he heard specifically how I shit on him. Because I didn't just go...
To the show.
Do what?
Angry listened to the show.
Okay.
I listen to the show every week.
Okay.
I hear myself talk.
I'm just making sure. So you know that I'm not just saying they suck, they're full of shit, they're non-metal. I feel like they could do better.
I agree. I think...
they've been doing it long enough.
Kind of like I said about Hell Yeah. I totally agree with that. I think... I mean, they wrote Master of Puppets, goddammit. You know?
Yeah,
They
man.
don't just write Master of Puppets and never write another Master of Puppets again.
Dude, exactly. They were pulling my strings.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know what happened to them. They wrote the Load album. That happened.
Yeah, man, people shit on Load, and I'm not a huge fan of it.
I like King Nothing.
Dude, I fucking love King Nothing. Dude, I love King Nothing, and I love Hero for the Day. And dude, honestly, I think it's a good rock record. As far as like the Metallica stuff, yeah, obviously I like the older stuff, and I like the newer stuff, man. I think the last 2 albums they put out have been quality. I think they've been quality music, man. Like if you go back and listen to the Load and Reload era, and you don't like that, which a lot of people don't, it's obviously a hot topic between a lot of metal fans. But when it comes down to it, people always tell me, they say, I don't like the new stuff, man. Ever since then, I'm like, well, look, man, I don't think, and this is my opinion, and I don't want to interrupt them too long, but in my opinion, I think that these new albums have been a great compromise for an older band that says, all right, you fans want what we put out, but we're getting older and we want to write the music that we want to write, and we think that with our careers we've earned that respect and that right, because bands do evolve. We always talk about it. They get better. Even
I'm saying everybody's got their in this river. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, everybody's got that moment, and I think
you can write more emotional songs that fit to you, even though it's nothing like what you've ever done.
Have you heard the new Leo specifically? Before you guys get back into your Metallica debate, have you heard the newest Metallica record, the double album Hardwire? That saying when Death Magnetic came out, I think it was a great compromise. I think it was the music Metallica wanted to write.
Saint Anger is Metallica's Break the Cycle.
Yeah.
Their new music sounds like they're sponsored by Dodge Trucks.
They're sponsored by what? Dodge Trucks. That's Angry Gordon's stance on Metallica, ladies and gentlemen. Their new music, Metallica, sponsored by Dodge Trucks. Driving Dodge. Yeah. Like you just hear like a commercial starts with like a truck. A truck just...
Like Rowe endorsing Ford trucks. Metallica and Dodge Trucks.
You see a truck coming over a hilly knoll, man, and just tearing up the mud and bogging through, and there's dirt and mud and chunks slinging all over the place as the tires tear through the terrain, and all you hear is the new Metallica song, and it's just some guy hanging out of it, and he's just like, everybody likes Dodge trucks, even metalers like me.
Metallica's the kind of guys to ask you to take down your rebel flag. Excuse me, sir.
And you don't
I'm not for the rebel flag. I'm not the kind of person to fly it or nothing. But I'm not going to act like I'm triggered.
Oh, yeah. No, so you're saying you're not a triggered individual. You don't support that kind of shit, but you're saying, like, they're the kind of guys that are like, hey, can you please stop with that?
Yeah, if you're taking pictures and shit, look at this guy.
So you're saying Metallica's the elitist SJW of the metal world?
You're Lars Ulrich, man.
Oh, my God. All right, well... When they came out as a kid, yeah, man. I mean, you guys grew up with me. You know I've been into metal all my life. Angry can tell you, dude. At 5 years old, man, was I not sitting on the porch listening to Injustice for All with you? Remember my boom? Do you remember my boom box at the apartments we would jam out Metallica and stuff on? You remember that? And Pantera?
I do, but here's the thing. Don't leave out Chris Cross.
No, dude. We definitely had the crisscross playing. You know, Mac Dad will make you jump. Well, you know, of course, because you get a boombox and, you know, your grandparents and parents are all buying you tapes. But the two albums I remember that were in there a lot were Injustice for All, and it was Megadeth. It was one of the Megadeths. And we didn't really like that one, but it still was metal, so we let it play. Dude, we would run around the apartment complex, me and Angry Gordon, firing off water guns and water balloons, man. And in the background, listening to fucking, you know, straight up, just hardcore goddamn Metallica as a kid. Like, you know, this is 1989, 90, so, you know, it's crazy. Like, good times.
Comparatively now, though, what's the hardcore shit?
This is the guy that can tell you James McGruff and the Angry Gordon have been metal lifers. So, Angry, there was something you wanted to bring up to me you mentioned earlier about last week.
That Metal Hammer list.
The Metal Hammer list, the top 20 of the greatest metal songs of the 90s.
You mean that rock mallet list?
Oh, man, I'm hearing farts.
It's more like a rubber mallet. Ain't no metal hammer.
All right, I know you got to go because Hurricane Irma's bearing down on you, man. And once again, our thoughts are out with everybody out in that, and just please be safe.
Hey, just remember, if you're going through a hurricane, don't forget to bring a towel.
Might be a little insensitive, I'm going to be honest. Our thoughts are seriously with you. Just maybe not Leo's.
I'm just trying to say, don't forget the weed. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say.
10 times worse. 10 times worse. All right, Angry, your Metal Hammer list.
I wanted to ask everybody's opinion on that, and not just you guys, everybody's opinion on that. We all agree that Metal Hammer had a shit list.
They had 3 Panteras, but they gave the top spot to Slipknot. So and plus they had Nirvana and Pearl Jam on there. And I'm just gonna say it against all odds. I disagree.
Not metal.
I dis-a-fucking agree.
I'm gonna give them their number 1.
Whoa!
Maybe not that song. I'm not gonna give them that song. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Slipknot, for its time, when the late 90s, was some of the greatest shit we had heard.
So you don't agree with the song, but you think Slipknot should take number 1?
I do. I definitely, not so much now, but I think for their time, how strong they came out, I think they deserve every bit of it.
Making me sad in my heart.
I'm not going to say that they're better than Pantera. You know, we all know how me and you feel about the Pantera, but
we are Pantera biased.
I think if we're talking about this Metal Hammer list was talking about the 90s, and I think that Slipknot ended really strong. Ended the 90s really strong. Yeah.
I will give him props on one thing. Joey Jordison at that time. I'm not gonna say he was, but to me, at that time was just the fastest drummer I've ever fucking heard.
Fucking awesome, man. And everybody loved that album. Not everybody loved, you know, Pantera's Reinvention of Steel, or
Hey.
you know,
Hey.
not everybody
Hey.
buying that shit.
Like, even with the gimmick behind it, and the mask, and the numbers, and all the weird shit that they were doing, and, like, you know, the off-rhythm songs, and how different, like, you know, I mean, you'd have a song on the album that was 2 minutes and thrashy, and then you'd have, like, a really slow, drawn-out, kind of, you know, almost industrial-sounding song at times. Like, they really, really kind of spiced it up with their first record.
Right.
I got to give him credit where credit's due. He's absolutely right. I just don't think Surfacing deserved that song. Honestly, if I had to pick a song that deserved above that one, I would say Spit It Out, definitely, or Wait and Bleed would believe that. And I don't really like the Wait and Bleed. I was like, oh, that's definitely a single. But I think Spit It Out would have been more popular.
It's definitely heavy as shit.
I think Spit It Out would be the song I think that would really, to me, that would be their hit off that record that would be more influential than Surfacing. That's my opinion. If I had to go, if someone was like, oh, no, Slipknot's getting number one, what song would you pick off the first record? I'd have to go, well, I'm going to say Spit It Out. You know, because that's the one that really, like, I just don't, you know, I remember Surfacing being good to a lot of folk for its shock value, for its chorus, that whole fuck the world, fuck it all shit.
Right.
Just the overly intense vulgarity of it, like, and as I'm older, I'm like looking at that like, okay, I can get the angst behind it, but I don't feel that way anymore. So maybe I'm biased, you know. I mean, I won't deny that, but I'll give him credit. Yeah, he's right. I think Slipknot definitely maybe be in that reign, but I just don't think the song, like, when I saw them in 2001 and they were still touring for that first record, the Iowa hadn't came out yet. It was like 2 months away from being released. They played a couple songs off it, but it was mostly first record stuff. That was one of the most intense shows I'd ever seen. Dude, when me and Angry, do you remember this? When we watched Lamb of God open for Slipknot, they were touring for, they were getting ready to tour for Ashes of the Wake. Ashes of the Wake. So I think Volume 3.
Yeah, you've got Something to Die For album.
Yeah.
What is that one?
Yeah, Ashes of the Wake. Volume 3 actually hadn't came out yet. They were still touring for Iowa, and Volume 3 was coming. Yeah, dude. They played Omerta and Vigil and all that shit live when we seen them. Like, they actually... Do you remember when we seen them? When we saw Lamb of God the first time, they had the backdrop for As the Palaces Burn. And then when they got to the Ashes of the Wake shit halfway through the show, they dropped that backdrop and had the new album shit there, and they started playing that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, because we had never heard them, really. We had never heard them, and I looked at him right when they started playing, and I was like, dude, did Satan just show up? Like, we were fucking just, like, tripped out as young men. So excited.
That was the show
so excited.
that made me no longer like Slipknot. It wasn't that they made a bad performance. It's just that Lamb of God was so fucking good about Slipknot.
Me and Angry stopped at the fucking mall right outside the arena the next day before we left and picked up that goddamn Lamb of God out, and that's what was listened to all the way back. What, not a single Slipknot track listened to at all. We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go buy a couple of these records. Like, oh dude, we went and picked that fucking album up, man, that As the Palaces Burn, and just jammed it out. I love As the Palaces Burns, man. I think As the Palaces Burns.
It's a different sound, man. They had a whole new the same producer that did Ashes of the Wake came back for one more record when they did Sacrament, which is why those two albums have a much more, like, Ashes of the Wake had a really good sound, even though that guy hated working with the band because they beefed a whole lot. Yeah, but you know, he came back for Sacrament and he did. Then they got that similar sound, but Wrath, it was a different person. Same thing as the Palaces Burn, it was a different person producing them.
Still cool as shit.
The guy that did Sacrament Ashes of the Wake, he really loved emphasizing the deep gutturals on Randy's voice, though. Like, he just always brought it out.
Yeah, that Sacrament is killer. But let's not interrupt Angry too long, man. He's got to get ready to go. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut you off so I can, I don't know, I guess it's called evacuate.
Yeah, he's got to evacuate for Hurricane Irma.
Hurricane Irma.
They took our neighbors! Well, man, we here, and I'm sure all the listeners absolutely hope that you guys get through and that you're absolutely safe. You know, thoughts out to everybody down there, all jokes aside. So, man, definitely, give us a shout, post on the page, and let everybody know that you got where you needed to go. And we hope that, man, you have a metal trip. Absolutely.
Don't be that guy standing by the glass window with your cell phone recording all the footage.
Yeah, please.
Be that guy hanging out in the basement smoking a joint.
And a bong or something.
I haven't found the first basement in Florida.
All right, well, man, stay safe, man, you and the old lady, and, you know, all our respect and care, man. So take care, all right? Absolutely. Later, man. James McGruff test and non-judgmental whatnots.
Nick and such.
Mm-hmm.
Cash and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that Leo at?
Joe.
All right, welcome back to Non-Judgemetal Podcast, and we got Nick and Leo here, and we're joined by Senor De Niro, Cash here, came in say what's up, man.
What's up? What's up, man?
All right. If you're on Facebook checking us out, just want to point out to you also, man, go ahead and type in for the Star City Punkcast, man. It's another podcast on punk music right here in our local area. It's hosted by friends of mine, Tara and Savannah. And they recently had their 7th episode where they had an interview with Jesse Michaels of Operation Ivy, man. That's pretty big. That's pretty big guy in the punk ska scene, so that's pretty cool, man.
Cool.
And definitely a cool show. I would definitely encourage you to check that out, man, if that's your thing. So
Definitely will do that.
yeah, absolutely. And but Nick, you had something that you shared this week to us that was kind of off-putting when I read it at first, man. And I want to hear about it here.
There was just so many things on the list that like there are bigger warning signs other than heavy metal. Like one of the warning signs also is like if your kid changes their appearance. It's like, all right, well if they change their appearance to look like Adolf Hitler, I guess that might be something. But if they just grow their hair out,
yeah,
does that mean they're turning into a neo-Nazi? It's like, all right.
And to be specific about this was a report from the Calgary police, man. I don't know if you got to see this, Cash.
No,
I know
didn't.
Leo did, but Calgary police released a thing out saying, you know, signs of a neo-Nazi if your child was kind of getting into that area, and one of them was listening to heavy music.
This is the post right here. I'm gonna go ahead and give Cash Ben the tablet to see what exactly the list is, because I don't think he's familiar with it. It sounds like Just Say No.
I mean, in a way, but it's like
against heavy metal for pretty much no reason, because like
and it looked like a local paper in Calgary called them out, like a news outlet, the correlation between them. They're just like, no, you know, it's not saying that definite is, but
right.
It's a sign of it. And I just thought that was kind of an odd thing to throw in there, like maybe, you know, I mean, you can almost slap a statistic on anything,
right?
You know, and make an argument for it almost, but I just kind of felt that was a weird thing to focus on in that, man. And I don't think that heavy music definitely breeds hate.
Seems like with the tour going through now, double homicide tour with Thy Artist Murder and Decapitated and Ghost Bath and shit, and then you get like a report about the kidnapping and such. It's just kind of crazy because...
Yeah, I seen that. There's a report that the band Decapitated were arrested for kidnapping from an incident back, I think you said, the 8th. And,
it was on the 31st. They were arrested on the 8th in California.
Yeah, and it's all alleged stuff right now, like, you know, because they haven't got that far in this yet, but it's still pretty crazy news.
They're held on a $100,000 bond
yeah.
right now. That's insane.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
they're willing
apparently.
to go back to Washington in order to serve the trial and such, but...
Yeah, they would be willing to do that, but they kept them anyway. And the lawyer released a statement saying that essentially, like, it's just alleged because the person voluntarily showed up there and then left on their own accord.
Right.
So, like, it's all just a big misunderstanding.
Coming out the same week as the neo-Nazi thing. Tell me that's not a little bit...
I mean, it's just crazy. Like,
right.
You see, like, all that stuff in the news, like,
so
crazy stuff with metal.
You just gotta get...
The negativity in metal. Like, negativity in metal.
Right.
You don't want to see that, man.
But we don't want negativity. We want to know what Cashman's listening to.
Yeah. We listen
Cashman, what's in your playlist right now? Playlist of choice.
What kind of metal here? We got a guest on. What are we talking?
I mean, sometimes it's a lot of metal. Sometimes I've got a crazy mix, but a lot of Lamb of God.
I don't think anybody's going to argue
Lamb of
with
God
that.
album, though, if you had to pick one. Because it seems like they got 7 classics. But
I mean, my go-to recently, I've actually been switching it up. I've been on Sacrament and Ashes of the Wake. and actually As the Palace is Burned. I guess I kind of rotate those three, and then now recently I'm going back to, I'm going up to some of the newer stuff. Wrath is an excellent album. I could pull up a playlist right now that I was jamming out to for the past couple days, actually.
Oh yeah?
It goes from Stained, Hank 3, a lot of Hank 3 pops on.
McGruff told me about Hank 3 the other day. Like, I was
Hank
familiar
3,
with
man,
him.
yeah. What was that? Go to Hell?
Straight to Hell.
Straight to Hell. God damn, man.
That's an amazing
good album.
man.
Just a good record, man. You want to hear just some
speed metal country.
Well, and seeing
just
them,
something else, man.
Seeing them play
Something
live, man, is incredible, because they'll do, they'll play a set, just amazing outlaw country,
Right.
just really good stuff, man. And then, man, he'll set his acoustic down and pick up his Gibson Les Paul Black with a Misfit skull on it, man, and they'll play another set of just metal. And so it just, same five guys, you know what I mean? We'll play an amazing outlaw country set and go right into metal.
That's
Right.
fucking metal, right?
And
there.
yeah, and they put out.
Hank 3's definitely metal.
Oh, they're amazing.
You pick it up, it's gonna be country, but he's fucking metal.
They finally got, they've got a song called "The Grand Ole Opry Ain't So Grand Anymore," and it's just talking about basically Hank Williams Sr. has never been inducted, even though basically that he's not a member, but they keep him right outside their door, to get the scene and get the money for it, but not actually put him in there. So when they finally inducted him into the Hall of Fame, they asked Hank 3 if he would come and play a set, for the show, but he just couldn't play that song. And so, from what I understand, he agreed to that, whatever, and was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't know.
Are you familiar with Avatar?
I have one album.
Right.
Yeah, and it's excellent.
It's
Let's
good,
just not
man.
argue about it.
It's good.
There's no debate.
No.
We don't need to get Judgemetal.
No,
Yeah,
we don't.
not on the
I'm
Avatar.
about to ask you, maybe not on Avatar, but like, are you judgmental on some things that you just feel?
Yeah.
Everybody's just so bad.
What the fuck is everybody's problem? Why do they like this? Because this, that.
Yeah, what do you judge metal on, man?
I do have a couple bands that I really dislike.
Give it to us.
And a lot of people will just absolutely hate that, but whatever,
need
man.
this.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
Been there.
All right, we're speaking your language.
Cannot stand
Discuss that.
Avenged
Dude, me
Sevenfold.
neither. Before you get into it, me neither. This is what I'll tell you about the Judgemetal mission. This is why we do this. When I first started doing the non-judgmental mission, man, I couldn't stand them either. And then when I saw them live at that festival, I was like, they kind of sound good. Yeah, no, they kind of sounded good. I gotta credit where credit's due.
I'm
But,
still all over.
me neither. Me neither. Let's just clearly say it.
What it absolutely feels like to me is a pop band.
Oh, it absolutely is
A
now.
complete pop band.
Massive talent in it too.
That is, it has talented musicians,
Massively
and they are simply out
Except
there
that
to
singer.
sell records.
I don't know. You guys got anything else, man? I'm pretty much good for the week because the only thing I'm going to be anticipating this next week is make sure everybody's safe from hurricane and new Contortionist record.
And check out that Waking Eyes.
Waking Eyes.
Waking
man. So I'll have
Eyes,
to
man.
Look
Amazing.
that up. I have not heard of that, so
It's-
that's one that escaped me.
It's a band called Devil Doll.
I don't think I've heard it.
Amazing. It's amazing. Love it.
Anybody heard of Modern Day Babylon?
I have not. Is this something you're
No.
recommending?
No? No one?
No, it's
No.
just a checkout.
Definitely. Modern Day Babylon.
Share it to the page.
Very genty.
Share it to the page.
Instrumental.
The Dapper Gentleman is
Instrumental.
suggesting you check it out.
I've checked out a couple instrumentals that I've enjoyed recently, man. Actually,
That's not a message, you son of a bitch.
You actually have to.
Like, but that's this message.
But I just shared it. I just shared it to him. The phone is literally in front of his face.
All right,
Shared.
how it works, how we get things out to people is you actually have to share them digitally over
Right.
the services, and then they show up there, and then they can leave comments and stuff. They can't record a podcast back to us to tell you what they think.
Google Translate Nerd.
I think this has been non-judgmental.
You know what?
Thanks for checking out NonjudgeMetal. Be sure to check out the Facebook and Instagram. And be sure again to check out the Star City Punkcast, also on Facebook and Instagram. NonjudgeMetal. Be sure to share us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.